to have you along for the ride. It's NASCAR Race Up on a Tuesday with Shannon Spake. I'm Adam Alexander. Our crew chief today from Richard Petty Motorsports is Drew Blickens-Durfer, and our driver, number 3, Austin Dillon. Happy to have you in, fellas.
Well, thank you. Good to be here.
We got a good energy here today, and the 78 and the 18 has had very good energy, particularly in the last 2 races.
We can't match that anymore.
You guys are in that garage every weekend. You what?
That's why we're wearing blue today.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I don't get it. We'll get it later. What are you guys saying about the 78 and the 18? Like, when you're in the garage and teams are seeing how fast they are and their speed, what's the conversations that people are having?
Well, it's tough right now. You look at them and you're jealous of how fast the TRD cars are. You know, you can make a case that obviously the Kyle Busch and Martin Truex are the 2 fastest cars, led 299 laps this past weekend. So they dominated Loudon like they have the last few years. But position 3, 4, 5, and 6, they're closely represented by maybe some Toyotas in there as well. You know, Kyle Larson might be the only one that sneaks in there on speed.
Yeah, and echoing what Drew said, I mean, the rookies that are in Toyotas right now are running well. You got Daniel Suarez, Eric Jones being a competitor each and every week. Out of non-playoff guys, they're running in there in the top 10, and it's just hard to beat them right now. They're stacked.
And I think about this. We're going into an elimination race. How is this week different preparing for Dover than what we've seen the last couple of weeks in the playoffs?
Oh, I think everybody's going to be at their best this coming weekend. They got to be. And there's going to be mistakes made that kill your playoff chances. This weekend is where it matters to get to the next round, especially for my team and a couple others.
You know, it was interesting. I heard you say when we were rehearsing about, like, I wish I wouldn't have sped at Chicago. Like, do you think about, like, the what ifs, or do you have to block that out?
Well, I mean, I definitely think about them because I feel like we'd be in a better point situation right now if I didn't speed at Chicago. But now it's time to go to Dover. We have an opportunity. We're no points, pretty much tied with Ricky and 1 ahead of Newman, and we just got to go outrace those guys.
You think you know who you're racing when you go into Dover, but a wreck on the backstretch like we saw at Loudon, it could take out 3 or 4 guys, and it could jumble things up more.
You guys are talking about where we are in relation to points. So let's go to the playoffs leaderboard. With that 1 race left in the round of 16, top 4 already locked into the round of 12. Truex and Busch have won. Larson, Keselowski have moved on when you look at their points position. I think from Harvick on up, everybody feels comfortable about moving on unless they have major problems. But the focus really going to be from 11th to 14. 10 points separating those 4 drivers. Austin right in the middle and the guys around him, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and his teammate Ryan Newman.
Well, I guess we had a decent points day. Not what we want, not what we should have, and not what we should be doing, but we don't run any better. It's not worth being in it.
Feels good to be 12th in points. You know, we fought all day. We never gave up, and we didn't have the best car. All these cars are really good. The RCR cars stepped their program up. You know, the one's been fast all year. You know, our playoff points that we had helped us, you know, maintain a chance at making it in, and thought we capitalized today very well.
Austin, I know you and Ricky are buddies, right? Like, you guys play basketball together. I'm wondering, what are the conversations like? Do you guys talk about this at all, like being tied and having to go into this race?
This weekend, I don't know if we'll talk. We just got to go into the weekend because we know what's ahead of us. You know, you can be friends off the track, but when it comes to the track, you got to do what you got to do to get to the next round. And my teammate is right there with us, Newman, and we've been working together all year long. It'll be interesting to see how this weekend goes. You know, it's just not going to be so friendly like it usually is. We'll definitely talk and help each other on setup, but if you find something in the car that helps you a little bit better, will you really give all the information to make your teammate that much better when you're racing for a chance to go to the next round in the playoff?
Cover those ears, Ryan. Cover them.
Hey, beyond being on the playoff bubble, the other big headline for you at New Hampshire, you, Kevin Harvick, get together at lap 150. What happened there?
Yeah, I was running the bottom line there, and Kevin kept coming down left, and it was the way the grip strips work there. You got to get that run, and I was as far down as I thought I had to be, and it was a racing incident. I talked to Kevin after the race, and he said it was a racing incident, and it was good to hear and talk to him. And heck, we went on to other subjects by the end of the conversation, and it was a good conversation that we had, and feel comfortable about where we're at going into Dover.
Okay, so guys going into this weekend, I'm wondering, when you're on the bubble and you're not certain about your future in the playoffs, do you go in and just try to be as aggressive as possible, knowing that sometimes when you're aggressive, bad things can happen? Or are you conservative and just focus on the guys that are around you in points? How would you approach it?
Well, I think Jamie McMurray's probably a little conservative, but guys like Austin and on back, they need to be a little aggressive. You can make up a lot of points stage racing now. So with the stage racing, you can definitely, Kurt Busch is 17 out right now. He goes and finishes 3rd or 4th in a couple of stages in a row. All of a sudden, he only has to beat Austin and Ricky by 3 spots in the finishing order, and he's back in this thing.
You have a great stage 1, stage 2. It could change your game plan for the final stage.
Exactly, and it definitely, you'll want to watch that because the last half of the race, the amps, they're going to pick up.
We want to come out firing.
Exactly.
My team, we want to come out firing, steal stage points. Qualifying is going to be important.
Friday's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to be focused on when we unload is qualifying. If we can get in the top 12 right there at the beginning of the race, hold ourselves in that spot to get stage points, it's going to be big. Friday's important, like Drew just said.
And you said a top 10 is what you feel like it's going to take, right?
Well, I just think it's going to take whatever I got to do to beat Ricky and Newman.
All right, well, a couple of sweethearts on the racetrack. We're going to have some sweethearts right now because it is Tuesday. And, of course, that means Radio Sweetheart. Here are the nominees.
Kevin Harvick.
Absolutely, sir. Looks slimy as out there. You get out of the groove just a little bit. I can't even think about running the bottom. It's so bad.
Kurt Busch.
Wow. What you got, bud?
I don't think we're going to get apart. They're hung up. The 4 can't get loose either.
Yeah, looks like we're done there.
Danica Patrick.
You got a handbag out here. I mean, a race in a very sport for crying out loud. And I get that you're scared to try something, but at some point, you got to know what to do.
And if you did not notice, it's an all Stewart Haas Racing Radio Sweethearts today on the Hub. You go to foxsports.com/vote. I'm hearing, Austin, that you actually got pretty close to making Radio Sweetheart, but
I have no clue why.
No clue at all. You guys can vote. Let us know who you think should win.
Whatever. We'll hear you in Radioactive. Coming up, Matt Kenseth appears to be catching momentum at the right time. Another strong run at Dover, and he'll be in the round of 12 once again. Caitlin Vincey one-on-one with driver 20 after the break. But first, we go next level. The grip strip was back at New Hampshire. How did it change the game? Austin has that. It's when NASCAR Race Hub rolls on.
If you're a NASCAR fan, there's a new podcast for you to subscribe to. Heritage Road, the podcast that drives you down memory lane, takes you under the hood, and gets you behind the wheel of America's favorite racing competition. They talk to the hardworking drivers, crewmen, and fans that made NASCAR possible then and now. From NASCAR royalty Bobby Allison to the broadcasters that brought racing into homes around the country, they've got all the stories you've probably never heard before. Hosted by the voice of Texas Motor Speedway, Rich Phillips, and brought to you by Busch, the beer that has supported racing since 1979.
This outside groove, having some stickum on it. Look for somebody to try to make bold moves.
The bottom groove has been coated with that DJ1 track bite sticky stuff. Jones at the very bottom, he works that bottom grip strip all 4.
Oh my goodness, the PJ1, it's absolutely become part of the NASCAR vernacular this season. Drivers love it. You like to stick them, right?
I love it. The grip strip, that's what I like to call it.
Why? Why do drivers like it so much?
I think it just gives us another lane to try and work around. As a driver, you want that option to move off of the main lane to pass somebody. So I love it. I think we're going to add more of it as we go.
All right. Well, there you have a prediction right there. We definitely had it when we were at Loudon in July. We had it this past weekend. But I'm wondering, does it give you a false sense of security? Because we see Jimmy Johnson here in practice. He said he was in the PJ1. When he got out of the PJ1, he got into the wall.
Jimmy and Chase both had trouble early. It was so cool at that point in time, and everybody's running really fast. When you got up and out of that grip strip, you're going to have to stop and get pointed or go again, or you're going to hit the wall. It was just really treacherous there at the beginning of the practice, knowing how much you could really push it because there were some really high-paced speeds at that point in time.
Seems like it's a little bit of an art form. And when we were in the race, we saw some guys had all 4 tires in the black spots in the PJ1, and some only had 2 tires. How does this work? Well,
as you can tell, there's 2 dominant lanes right here. I'm going to pause it right in the kind of the center of the corner right here. These 2 lanes are very important. This is where all the grip's at. When you leave the grip, man, it gets treacherous because it's just clean track right in there, and you slide. So my favorite line was kind of running 2 tires where I had a little bit of leniency. If I missed, I could catch more of the grip strip and it propelled you off the corner.
Well, we saw Denny Hamlin really be able to use the grip strip or the PJ1 to make passes in this race. He did it a couple of times. What's the art form there? How do you use it?
Well, you can watch this pass he puts on Kyle Larson. Pretty impressive pass right here. It's at the beginning of a run where I thought the bottom grip strip had a little bit more grip than the top. He makes a good entry right here, and he's able to keep all 4 tires in the black. When he gets this run off the corner, the 42 is still kind of sliding and doesn't have the grip that he needs to get off the corner. So it gives him a great run down the straightaway.
So we have 2 lanes of grip strip. You'd like them to do the whole racetrack.
The whole racetrack would be fun, but I think it's nice having a little bit of clean track in there to slide around on just in case, you know, another lane.
Okay, here you are. So show me how you worked the black on the racetrack.
Well, like I talked about here, the bottom lane was still pretty dominant early in the run. I would try and get in there as hard as I could on the bottom, roll and not leave this area right here. This area right here, when I would get the right sides in there, it would get really rough to continue the corner. So I try to keep all 4 in it. And then if you get pointed just right there, I get turned again, and that gives you a low straight shot off, and it helps you. But the outside lane, the problem is after a couple laps, that outside lane starts coming, and you get a big run off the corner to get going. So it's tough to kind of pick lanes, but I felt like the bottom was pretty important at the beginning of the run.
You said you want to see this at other racetracks, like 1.5 miles, or are we talking more just the shorter tracks?
Particularly for me, Richmond. It is my least favorite track we go to all year long, and I need more grip there because I feel like I've never had grip at Richmond.
Well, there you go. Let's cross our fingers. All right, we just saw Denny Hamlin using that grip strip to make those passes. His teammate Kyle Busch won the race. Well, what about the other Joe Gibbs Racing playoff driver? And that would be one Matt Kenseth. Our Caitlin Vincey caught up with him earlier today.
Thank you, Shannon. Well, Matt Kenseth taking some time for us here at Joe Gibbs Racing amidst a busy day. And they were just talking in the studio about that grip strip on the racetrack at Loudon, how that affected the racing. Did you feel like it did on Sunday en route to another top 5?
Yeah, it was similar to the first race there. It's definitely changed the line there. And in some ways, it's opened up the line, but in other ways, it almost makes it harder to pass because everybody this race entered way on the top and exited way on the bottom. So it was really hard to find clean air, really hard to finish the pass. But it was interesting. You definitely the track changed a lot, and you had to pay attention.
And you guys had a top 5. Good day for Toyota manufacturer as a whole. We kind of see this manufacturer dominance ebb and flow in racing, but what do you think is attributed to Toyota's success of the past couple of months?
I really think it's a team thing more so than necessarily a manufacturer thing. I mean, Toyota and TRD did a great job giving us everything we need, but, you know, all the Toyotas you see winning are all out of the JGR shop. So I think that they've been doing a great job here. This is obviously, you know, one of the best teams in the sport, and they've always fielded really competitive cars. So I just wish we'd get the 20 just a little bit better so we could run with 18 and 78, but we had a solid day. Just wanted a little bit more, wanted to get that win.
The next race on the docket for you guys is Dover. You've won there multiple times. Does that give you any comfort going into an elimination race, knowing you have had success at that racetrack?
Well, I think the main thing that gives you comfort going into elimination races is being in good shape after the second race. So we're in a fairly decent, you know, position right now, and you know, hopefully go to Dover, have a good run, and hopefully get a win.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and good luck to you this weekend. Matt Kenseth, a 3-time winner at Dover, looking for another one this weekend. Adam?
Safe to say, Caitlin, confidence is not a problem right now for Matt Kenseth. So much momentum to end the regular season, and they picked up in the playoffs right where they left off, Drew.
Yeah, you know, they started rolling mid-season. The Gibbs cars did, along with the 78. And, you know, besides the 18 and 78 being the fastest, next in class, Kenseth is in that category right now.
You look at the last 10 races, and a couple of hiccups here and there for one reason or another, but you could say outside of 78 and 18, they have been the next car in line. You got to believe they're going to advance to the round of 12, right? Plus 43 going to Dover this weekend. Yep. Caitlin said how good he is there. Once they get to the round of 12, how much more damage can they do?
Well, you saw it in the spring, you know, at Charlotte. Qualified 4th, finished 4th, qualified 4th at Talladega, and he's won at Kansas. He's won at all 3 races in the round of 12. Matt Kenseth doesn't make very many mistakes as a driver, so he puts himself in good position when it comes into the race.
He's a champion. He's in the playoffs. He has speed. So we are going to talk about on-track performance. But what about the off-track story? What's going to happen in 2018? Right now, he doesn't have a ride.
You know, there's a good chance Matt Kenseth's going to be the fastest driver in the carpool lane taking the girls to school next year. You know, and it's unfortunate. It all comes down to sponsorship and the dollars and the available seats. You know, Matt is a perennial guy that's a favorite to possibly win a championship. And right now, he could be the odd man looking out because of sponsorship dollars.
Wouldn't it be fitting, as we look at his numbers from 2017, for him just to quietly ride off into the sunset? That's been the model of his career, you know?
Exactly. Win a championship this year, run up front, and then Matt Kenseth goes away, and he has a lot of fun.
Adios. I'll see you in the carpool line. All right, tonight, 2 unbeaten rising prospects square off when Barthélemy, that is not Blickensderfer, it's Barthélemy, taking on Ramirez. Premier boxing champions toe-to-toe Tuesday tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1. After the break, we are talking Xfinity. Regan Smith is here to walk us through race 1 in the playoffs and tell us why first-time winner Tyler Reddick is just getting started. Plus, Junior Motorsports Xfinity playoff driver Michael Annett is on set. He tells us what it will take to advance to the round of 8. You're watching NASCAR Race Hub.
Green flag is in the air.
We got trouble for one of the playoff contenders, Justin Allgaier.
The lead car washes up, bottom of the racetrack, opens up. Green, white, checkered flag waves over the hood of the 000.
They're going to go 3 wide for the lead. Hemrick gets a little sideways.
Green checkered flag did stage number 2. Cole Custer takes both of them, ready to go back to action here for stage number 3. Reddick down to the bottom of the racetrack. He will inch ahead of Priesting, his first ever career Xfinity Series win. Tyler Reddick.
There were some fast horses on the racetrack out of Kentucky this past weekend. It's the last Xfinity Series standalone event of the season. You can see there where the playoff guys finished. Brennan Poole, what a finish for him. Second place, Justin Allgaier in third, Cole Custer fifth, Elliott Sadler in sixth. And it's time to talk Xfinity Series. Regan Smith is here to do that with us. We're looking at the points here, right? And there was certainly some movement this past weekend. My eyes immediately go to William Byron, who dropped all the way to fifth. What does this tell you?
Yeah, the damage wasn't as bad as it could have been for William Byron. We saw him have some trouble at the end of that race and have to pit. He falls to fifth. To me, I look at a guy like Cole Custer. He made a really nice move up to second, won a couple of stages there, really helped him out. Elliott Sadler did some damage control. Justin Allgaier, in particular, did a lot of damage control. He had a problem early on in that race, was able to come back to third. A nice day for him. We're
going to talk Cole Custer in a second. Let's focus on Elliott Sadler, because when you talk about movement in the points, what about some moves that he was making on the racetrack?
Yeah, Elliott Sadler, we see right here, he gets 4-5 wide at one point in the race right here. The car jumps sideways. When we see the car jump sideways, that's an aero situation that makes it jump sideways. There's also a really large bump on the racetrack here at Kentucky. I know this. I've hit it myself. It was a problem years ago the first time we went there and they repaved it. It's still there. The sparks fly off of this race car. Elliott alluded to after the race that possibly that damaged his car just a little bit and cost him some speed. We've seen that on the Cup side where guys damage a splitter or maybe lose a side skirt and it costs them a lot of speed. We're seeing it on the Xfinity side as well. That could have cost him a possible top 5 finish.
Okay, so down for Elliott Sadler. Up, though, is Cole Custer. As you mentioned, he's tied for first right now with Justin Allgaier. Kevin Harvick told us earlier this season, of course, his Stewart Haas teammate, that he is so impressed with Cole Custer, the way he prepares and the questions that he asks. And, of course, now we're starting to see some finishes out of him.
We're seeing the finishes. He got the 2-stage wins. That's a big part of why he jumped up into the points the way that he did after this race. And what I like about Cole Custer is he's been doing this as a rookie. Him and Jeff Meendering are both rookies. Rookie crew chief, rookie driver, and they're doing a nice job working together, communicating. He's done most of the development on that race car. There's not been Cup guys that he's been teammates with other than 4 or 5 races this season. He's been having to do a lot of the legwork there.
A lot of the legwork. Okay, talking about legwork, Tyler Reddick, great night for him out there. You know, I mentioned this is the last Xfinity only standalone event. We will go on and there'll be some Cup drivers in the field. Are you yay or nay on limiting these guys as we move forward?
I'm yay on it to a certain extent. I think we still have to have Cup drivers in the field, but we also have to give Xfinity drivers like Tyler Reddick, who did an amazing job on Saturday night, the opportunity to go out there and win races, showcase their talent, show what they're capable of. This was a huge win for this guy. He's got a ride next year. We know he's going to be at Junior Motorsports, but what a way to go out at Chip Ganassi Racing with a win.
What a way for you to go out, but you're not done just yet. We're going to send you over to Adam. We're having you pull double duty today.
A little more work left.
A little more work, because we actually have an Xfinity Series driver in the house, and that guy is Michael Annett.
And here he is for the first time in studio on NASCAR Race Hub, Iowa's own Michael Annett. It's great to have you here.
I appreciate you guys having me. Yeah, need to be here more often, talking, celebrating more stuff, I guess.
Well, but this is a good time to have you on because for the first time in your career, you're a part of this whole NASCAR playoff system, one race out under your belts. What's it been like for you to experience this side of it?
Yeah, I mean, coming into the playoffs, being in the 12th spot, getting in right on the bubble, obviously not a place we wanted to be. And we want to come into Kentucky and, qualify, top 5, top 10. That's the easiest way to start getting segment points right when the race starts, and obviously we've all learned how important that is. So Kentucky didn't go, at all the way we wanted to. 16th is not going to win us a championship. So, going into Dover and just the whole playoffs in general, I keep reiterating segment points is so important. And so, qualifying and getting those right away, obviously, is the most important thing we can do.
I got to think, though, going into Dover, that's got to excite you just a little bit. Junior Motorsports has always been very strong at that racetrack. I know you had a 14th place finish last time we were there. So going into that race, what's your thoughts? Can you go out there, get that good, solid top 10 and start getting those points the way you need to there?
Yeah, obviously, the term Junior Motorsports, the 5 team, we're still not where we want to be, but looking at our teammates and the notebooks and everything at our fingertips that we have, right there, Elliott and Justin and William, they ran well at Dover. So what didn't work for us, we can knock on their shoulders and hopefully use, what they learned and we need to have the best run possible, and we definitely have all the resources at our fingertips, like I said.
What's Junior Motorsports is the best opportunity in your career to this point from a team and organization standpoint? What's the thing that surprised you the most since you've gotten in there and you've worked with everybody, you've seen the company, the inner workings, how they operate? I know for me it was the fact that it was such a family-built organization. Everybody felt so close-knit. What surprised you the most there?
Exactly what you just said. Obviously, from the outside looking in, you see, how passionate Junior is about the organization. But then when you get inside those doors and you see, I keep going back to the first lunch leading into the whole season. They had a raffle, and Kelly knew everybody's name that got pulled off the raffle.
It always amazes me. Yeah, she can pull them all out.
It really is. And from right then, I was like, man, it's a family, like you said. It amazed me at that point, and yeah, I'm trying not to smile now and get goosebumps because I'm so fortunate to be where I am, because that's only grown, that same feeling since that first day at that lunch.
A little bit of a different look for playoff race number 2 than playoff race number 1, because Kentucky, as you and Shannon talked about, was a standalone race last of the year. This weekend, double duty drivers are back, a companion with the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series at the Monster Mile. When you look at this group, what challenges does it provide for the series regulars, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say, standalone races, the Cup guys aren't there, but I don't necessarily agree with it, because you get so many other guys saying this is my shot, and almost those races sometimes are more difficult and more challenging. But you got to have a good car. You got to have, you got to go through practice. You got to qualify and do everything right, no matter who's in the race against you. You got to do your job on your own end. So, with that group, there's the guys that run well at Dover. That's why they want to do double duty at those tracks, because that's where they enjoy it. They run well there, and that's why they pick those races. So, same thing every time going into it. I don't personally look at any standalone race versus strong double duty drivers any different. It's you got to do your work on your end, and that's all that matters.
And we saw the video there. Kyle Larson won the race in June. Good to have you here. Best of luck this weekend throughout the playoffs. And Regan, we'll see you back next week, okay?
Next Tuesday.
And we'll see the trucks on track Saturday night. It's also race number 2 in the playoffs for the tailgaters. FS1 live from Sin City. Our coverage begins 7 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you on the Strip. And it's Tuesday. You know what that means. Radioactive and Race Hub gets wicked good after a break.
They called the 40, then the 11. Wow. Sir, that's complete.
No, that's get the official. I guess when it's the end of a stage, it's race back to the yellow.
And if it's radioactive, that means we have Radio Sweetheart on Connect Live determining who will get the Sweetheart Award today. I can promise they'll be from Stewart Haas Racing. We're back on NASCAR Race Hub. Good to have you along for the ride, live on FS1. So yesterday on the show, we were getting ready for Winners Weekend, and you made me close my eyes.
I did, and you couldn't see a thing.
Oh, absolutely. Just like Kyle Busch,
Correct.
who drove through the smoke and got his 3rd win of the year. So today, I'm going to request that you cover your ears.
Okay.
You know why?
Why? I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me. Yeah, that's
I still
good,
can't hear
because
you.
it's time for Radioactive. Here you go, from New Hampshire.
About to get things underway in the Granite State. This is race number 2 of 3 in round 1. It might get a little bit iffy if they have a bad race today.
It's hot. With this heat, we could have a really, really wild race.
Take care of yourself in there today. It's hot. Everybody down there, take care of yourself.
It's hotter up here. All right, man. Going to be a long, hot, slick day, so just take what the car will give you.
Keep this baby in the playoffs.
Let's enjoy them. Have a good day. Fight your ass off. Good luck to you. Pass the car, go get some lobster. All right, man. Coming to the green here. 300 laps. Be ready. Ready. Green, green, green.
Kyle Busch gets a great start. He will lead the field, including Kyle Larson, into turn 1.
Looks slimy as hell out there. You get out of the groove just a little bit, you're screwed. Definitely got a little bit of damage. There's no smoke. Really struck my wheels. I don't know what the wrong with this thing. You're clear? All clear. Your leader's 78. Bring her to the line here for the 19th time this season. Stage winner, MTJ.
And you can give stage 1 of the ISM Connect 300 to Martin Truex Jr.
We're about to go green again here at New Hampshire.
Green flag, everyone's away. Oh, not bad. I'm not going anywhere. That's working, doing fine. Keep doing what you're doing, keep being consistent. That's what's going to pay off. Big picture here, big picture.
Leader's pace is tracking to get close to us right before the end of the stage, just so you know, bud.
That's all I got. Every lap just gets worse and worse and worse. 10-4. Base pressure seem any better, any worse? Nothing so far.
Leader Martin Truex Jr. once again in some very, very heavy traffic.
Nice and smooth right here. Give me 2 more.
We got a car sideways. Looks like Kevin Harvick maybe off of the corner there. And the leader also, Martin Truex, is involved in that as well.
Been there, he's low. Coming up high. He stopped.
Oh, wow.
Oh, spinning off at 2, stay high, go low. And we're in it. All right. You can back up. 70 is right there.
I think I spun myself out, or did I not?
Oh, I don't know.
He's right up here spinning. Both lanes in front of you. Clear 1 lane up, clear 1 lane down. We're all clear to lead left.
Yeah, he just gassed it up and came up in front of all you guys. I thought he'd stay there, but he gassed it up, surprised the whole field.
Rolling through there easy. 33 coming in and side swiping. I mean, you couldn't see anything. All right, we're going to have to clear the left rear quarter. That's going to be the biggest thing.
There's enough room there, right?
By an inch. Aimed in the right side door.
What happened there?
3 hit us.
Coming left, don't know what he wants me to do.
Nothing wrong with that.
That will give the stage 2 win and the playoff point to Kyle Busch.
The green flag is about to wave.
Green.
Joe's on you.
I think the 11's got an issue. I think I got a loose wheel. They said they had them good. I don't think so. Oh, we need an honest answer from them. They believe they are fine, but they cannot tell like we used to. I gotta come. Turd. Sure what he meant when he said turd. What'd he say? Nobody down here knows what he says. I can usually buy a vowel, but I can get my on that.
In the back of her a little bit. Nose looks fine now.
What is he doing?
Landon Kenseth and Danica Patrick are in a pissing match all 4.
You got a hell of a handbag out here. I mean, I'm racing a very fast, but coming out loud. And I get that you're scared to try something, but at some point, you gotta know what to do.
And we were one of the fastest cars, so we will change something when we stop.
Oh, God.
88's really struggling up top.
A lot of smoke trailing from behind Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car.
That's an 88. No, he's dragging and dropping all over the racetrack. Smoke's flying out of the bottom of his car right now.
So we got a tire now. The left front, Greg.
Kyle Busch extended his lead.
Meanwhile, Matt Kenseth and Kyle Larson, all they can do is just watch him go out of sight.
Back 77, 20 outside your bumper. Still just you and him. You'll get him here. Don't overdrive it. Pick him apart.
Really good lap, man. All clear. Go get this 21.
You can tell Brett that I'm going to give him one lap to get out of my way. Our car is so bad. I don't know what happened where we can't run on short track with any more wheels.
The yellow flag has come out.
Casey Kane was up against the wall.
That's more coming. Got a flat, guys. Just hold it up there. Something's broken the rear end. I can see it. Then go ahead and take it to the garage there. Come in the out hole, Casey. I can't see anything. 10-4, buddy. Straight ahead here. What a killer that is. Switch it where you need. Starts on you.
Green flag wave with a big push from Martin Truex Jr. Kyle Busch just leaves Clint Boyer.
Everybody driving like 1 point makes a lot of difference. Kyle Busch way out in front.
White flag here. Coming back no matter what. Working smart. Still clear. One more set of smart corners here.
Kyle Busch is going to win for the 3rd time at New Hampshire.
All right. Check a flag. Jab, bro. Jab, guys. Yeah! Way to go, team. Good job. Go ahead and hang with the driver. Up here, guys. Give it to me. Good job today, guys. Really good car again. Thank you.
We've got handbags. We've got wheels. We've got Martin Truex Jr. winning 19 stages. What do you think about that?
Wild.
Yeah,
Wild day.
They're pretty intense. You know, things are heating up. Even for, like you see, Danica Patrick. She doesn't have a ride for next year, so she's not racing for the playoffs, but she wants to win.
Now, Drew, you and I both grew up in the Midwest. Is it hell in a hand basket or hell in a hand bag?
It's basket.
I thought it was
basket
It's
too.
basket. Well, women might say bag. It sounds better.
I think it's bag.
I wonder
If
what kind
anyone
of
at
bag it
home
was.
knows what it is, if anyone's from the
Spencer.
Midwest,
Send Shannon a
they know
tweet.
what it is. Send me a tweet. I think it's a bag. Okay, well, let's get our radio sweethearts up there and see. And Danica Patrick is one of our radio sweethearts. She has 3 wins so far this season. Kurt Busch has 4 wins. And Kevin Harvick going for his first sweetheart victory of the season. Foxsports.com/vote.
Oh, my goodness.
Unanimous.
Not
This
even
one might
close.
be over pretty quick.
Handbag, handbasket.
All of the
whatever it
above,
is,
right?
That's 83%. Yeah, she was a little fired up on the radio.
But here's the thing. When it comes from Danica, her delivery just has that extra punch that helps garner 80% of the vote, does
She
it
knows
not?
how to hammer the nail. I mean, she just puts it down
Well
hard.
put.
Yeah.
Well put. She, yeah. She hammered the nail here, and looks like she's going to be even with her teammate Kurt Busch when it comes to winning Radio Sweetheart, because 82% at home
By a landslide.
say Danica Patrick is the Radio Sweetheart.
She had that in a handbag. Up next, school is back in session. It's our NASCAR race hub pop quiz, and we're putting Austin and Drew to the test. Who has the NASCAR know-how? We're going to find out coming up, and we're showing some hub love. It's This Week in Non-Playoff News. Hear the latest on Eric Jones and what's happening in his non-playoff world. Welcome back to NASCAR Race Hub. Ring the bell. School's in session, guys. It is time for Pop Quizza.
We're going to fire off the questions. You guys put the answers right there on your notepad, okay?
Okay.
Ready for the first question?
Yep.
Over the weekend, Kyle Busch got his 3rd win at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. How many tracks has Kyle Busch won at least 3 times?
Oh.
How many tracks has Kyle Busch won at least 3 times?
this
We know
counting
New
New
Hampshire is now on the board. He hit the trifecta there on Sunday.
I think I got all of these right when
I'm going to tell you, Shannon got them all right, except one. I think maybe you were missing one.
Set the bar. Oh, 1 of 3.
Yeah. All right, here we go. What? You say 5. They both say 5.
Mine was a total
And you're
guess.
wrong. The
Mine was a
answer
total guess.
is
4.
4.
Not so.
Yeah, we were pretty close.
Richmond, Bristol, of course, New Hampshire, and Auto Club Speedway in Southern
Let me down
California.
there, Kyle.
No score.
Gave you more
Second
credit.
question.
Yeah.
0. Goose egg. Okay, next question. Toyota has led 993 laps the last 4 races. Which manufacturer has led the second most?
Woo! Yeah, well, I mean, we got a representative from Ford. We have a representative from Chevrolet.
One right answer, though.
Not gold, but it's.
Oh, they both say Chevrolet, and the answer is Chevrolet. 237 laps
That's
out
1 to
front.
1. 1 to
I got
1.
one of those.
tied at 1. Here we go. Question number 3. Jimmy Johnson, a 7-time champion, has the most wins all time at Dover with 11.
Oh.
Who is second on the all-time wins list at the Monster Mile? Drew has an answer.
Is a current driver?
Austin is pontificating. I can't
current?
give you a hint because he's already given the answer. What do you think? Special treatment for drivers? What is this, Austin?
Yeah, all time?
All
At
time.
Dover?
All time at Dover.
I have no. I'm going to do this, but it's not him.
Is there a little birdie in your ear?
Okay, let's see the answers.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, my boss.
And my boss is one of them.
I said Kyle Busch.
Yeah, Richard Petty.
Bobby Allison.
Bobby Allison. Yeah, they both have won
Bobby Allison.
7 times at Dover.
I get 1.5. I have a half right there.
Drew's leading this
You
thing
do.
2-1. Come on, Austin.
Stage point. That's a stage point or something.
All right, so here we go. How many times has a driver won a walk-off race at Dover?
Ooh, I know one person that did.
Now, keep in mind, we've only been there 3 times.
A walk-off race
format.
to get to the next round, right?
Right. Had to
Only been
win
there
to
3 times?
advance. We've only been there 3 times in this situation. How many times has a driver walked off at the Monster Mile? All right. 1. You guys got it right. Who
Kevin
was
Harvick.
it?
Kevin Harvick.
2015. That's right. There it is. All right. So Drew keeps the lead here. It's 3-2. And we are moving on to the next question.
Final
And it is, who is the most recent non-playoff driver to go to victory lane in the playoffs? Most recent non-playoff driver to win in the playoffs.
No, it's not this year.
Well, it hasn't happened this year because it's Truex and Busch. And we know every year in this format, the champion has won at Homestead. So when's the last time a non-playoff driver won in this format?
Wait, can I name the driver? I had Casey Kane, right?
It's not Casey Kane. It is, in fact, Dale Earnhardt Jr. When did he do it? Do you know, Drew? Phoenix 2015.
Casey Kane did it at Atlanta, I feel like.
So Drew's a winner. 4-2. Congratulations, Drew. Did you study for this?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Yeah,
Did you have help?
You always do your
afternoon.
homework.
Never. Cheat. There's never a gray area.
Hey, this win is not encumbered.
No, it's not cucumbered. So speaking of drivers who are not in the playoffs, we here at the Hub believe everybody deserves a little bit of love. So back for a second season with a slight name change. It's Post Loudon This Week in Non-Playoff News.
This week in non-playoff news. Sunday, at the Magic Mile, a rookie beyond his years, and with a great mullet, I might add, raced to the front. Eric Jones, that's Eric with a K, battled up front all day. Jones, driving the 77 Toyota, was Mr. Steady Eddie. He finished 4th in both Stage 1 and 2, and if not for getting loose, then tight, then loose again in the final stage, he may have won the race. A solid 6th place finish would have to do. Jones's 12th top 10 finish of the season, making him the highest finishing non-playoff driver. Congrats, Eric. You and your mullet indeed made This Week in Non-Playoff News.
All right, so we did get just a little something wrong in that piece because it is Eric Jones, but according to Twitter,
full disclosure,
it is now business in the front only because the party in the back has gone bye-bye. So it's the mullet is gone. He's getting a little high and tight for the rest of the season. I'm digging it. What do you think? So NASCAR and Fox put this. Eric Jones unveils a new aero package for Dover.
Low drag.
I'm liking it. I'm digging it. What do you guys think?
Chicago, I think his AC went out or something. I heard last week on Radioactive he was really, really hot the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
you got that mane going down there. I'd be hot, too.
A mane.
Protecting
Does it make him look younger or older?
What is that?
Younger or older?
I think it makes him look younger. You ever grow your hair out like that? Either of you guys?
No.
If that was the party in the front, business in the front, party in the back, what would you call this? Please don't go there. Let's just move on to the next segment of the show.
I call that the water slide.
Oh, well, okay. All right. Speaking of Eric Jones, we got to talk about him. What do you guys think? Do you think he could be the one guy that kind of mixes up this playoff party and gets to victory lane?
For me, it is. I mean, that 77 team connected to the 78 team. They had speed all year long. I watched him at Bristol after we got out of the race early, and I sat down there in the corner, and he could run a line no one could run right on the bottom for a long period of time. he's the spoiler. I feel like if anybody, the non-playoff guys, can win a race, it's going to be him. Or, you know, there's a wild card at Talladega. You never know who can win that race.
There was a while I thought he was going to get his first career victory Sunday at New Hampshire because, as you said, they had so much speed. Eric Jones not expected to win. He's a rookie, Drew. We kind of feel like Joey Logano needs to win going down the stretch, right?
Yeah, I think so. You know, he doesn't have a win that's not non-encumbered. He has an asterisk next to his only win this year. And I think if you would have pooled people in January, the 22, after their run in 2016, he would be one of the favorites to win the championship. And now you're sitting here going into October. He's not in the playoffs. He doesn't have a win without an asterisk next to it. So I think the 22, for the morale of Joey and the team, they need to get to victory lane.
What about that other Toyota driver, 19?
Suarez has been impressive for the lack of experience that he has. He's showing up in the top 10 every week. He's very impressive to what I've seen, and he's in a Toyota, so it's hard to beat them right now. They've got a lot of the people covered that you would think as a normal favorite would be at these tracks.
You know, I think Suarez took off the first 3 months. He's around 20th in points, doing what he should have done, but nobody was overly impressed with what was going on. In the last couple months, that 19's piggyback from the speed the Toyotas have, and Daniel's doing the job out there. So he's showing up, and, you know, you finish in the top 10, you get closer. You finish in the top 5, you're knocking on the door.
And both those drivers, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, have just gotten better and better as their rookie campaign has continued.
So tomorrow on Race Hub, we're going to present the latest in our Beyond the Wheel short film series. El Corredor, or The Driver, follows Eric Almirola as he makes his first ever trip to his family's homeland of Cuba. I can't wait to see that.
Oh, yeah. Not only are we going Beyond the Wheel, but Eric is going to join us in studio to recount his visit. Really, really looking forward to that tomorrow on NASCAR Racing.
And it wouldn't be a Dover week without this guy. Jimmy Johnson's going to be a big topic as we head to Dover. We're going to see how Jimmy's helping to raise awareness about breast cancer as we get ready for Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October.
Yep.
Time now for our social garage. So Brad Keselowski, the athlete, posted a picture on Instagram saying, took a break today to play a little tennis with my darling before we head to the Monster Mile. She's making me step up my game. Hope you're having a great day. Brad, we don't believe you played. You're going to have to send the video.
Yeah, I want to see video proof personally.
Yeah.
Come on, Brad.
She's a heck of a teacher if she's making him progress, I think.
Brad is here next Tuesday, so maybe BK will bring video
Let's offer
proof.
up a challenge. When he's here next Tuesday, that you and I, Shannon, go take on he and
Let's do
Paige
it.
in a little mixed doubles.
What do you think, Paige? What do you think, Brad? We'll get it done.
What's the equivalent to a foot fault in tennis in racing? What's the equivalency there, do you think?
Speeding on pit road?
Yeah.
I think that's
or
fair.
outside the box.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, over the line. I like that. Good analogies.
Thank you to everyone who's let me know that it's a basket, not a bag.
The hell in a handbasket.
It's a hand basket.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Got that one.
You can hold more in the basket.
Who knew that Radioactive could be so educational?
Yeah, no.
Learned so much here.
Thank you guys very much for being here. And for the new nickname, Water Slide.
And if this is the cut line, after Dover, you need to be up here, okay?
All right.
Get up there. Go to that round of 12
Thank you all
again.
for joining
Let's
us.
go.
We'll be back here tomorrow. Have a great night.